the LED has just a little bit of an edge when it comes to output, just looking out on the camera. What's up, everyone? Welcome back to the Taco Rick channel. Excuse the lawnmowers in the background. I am sorry, but welcome back to the channel. As you guys know, I have a brand new taco. You guys can't see me. We have the 2020 Toyota Tacoma TRD off-road, and this baby is fully loaded. If you haven't seen all of the stuff that's on this new taco that I just got, because obviously I totaled my last taco, but you guys can catch up on that on my last two videos where I went over what happened with the last taco, and the purchasing process of getting this new taco, and also the video on basically the full overview of this taco. But in today's video, as the title says, we just got the taco, and the first thing that needs to go are these ugly incandescent interior lights. These are just like, ew, it's just so old school. We need some LEDs in here. We also need to replace the license plate lights. These are also ugly incandescent lights right there and right there, which makes no sense to me because the rear brake light, those are LEDs. So why did they put incandescents down here? I don't know. So they have incandescent bulbs for our daylight runners, our high beams, and our fog lights. That also makes no sense because we got an LED daylight runner, but we have a low beam that's an incandescent, and we got a fog beam that's an incandescent as well. So we need to change all of that with some nice LEDs, which is what I have right here. So starting off, we have all of the LEDs for the interior. I will link this. This was on Amazon. I'll link this in the description down below, the one that I got. All of these LEDs right here will do all of our interior lights as well as the two license plate lights as well. And then also with that, we have our 4 LED bulbs. These are for our fog lights and for our headlights. These are straight from the 2018 Tacoma. I made a full video installing these on the 2018 Tacoma. My good friends over at Diode Dynamics are the ones that hooked me up with all these. These are super good LEDs. They lasted me 2 years plus with no problems, and they're probably going to last me years to come on the 2020 Tacoma. Let's go ahead and let's get started with all this, starting with our interior LEDs. Oh, I kind of forgot to mention that these are their SL1 LED headlights. They're designed for both reflectors and projector lamps. So we have projector lamps on our low beams, and our fog lights are reflectors. So these are good for both. They're made in the USA, which is awesome. They're high intensity, they're street legal output, and they're plug and play. Literally, I'll show you. It's literally plug and play to put these in. It's super simple. So the first interior bulbs we're going to change are these two map lights right here. These are the hardest ones to get to. So behind this panel right here, there's actually 4 clips that hold this up into here. And the easiest way really to get it is just to literally take your hand and kind of just pry. And there you go. That's all it is. It does take quite a bit of force, but right there you can see the 4 kind of pop in tabs that go up into here, there, and there that hold this. So this right here is our assembly, and these right here are where our bulbs lie. Now I'm trying to do this one-handed, but what you need to do is take this and you need to turn it to the left and then slide it out, and that comes your bulb. Same thing with our top one here. Try to get a better angle, but you basically just turn it and then slide it out. So now to take the bulbs out, you just pull them and they come right out. And then you're going to take the LED that's included, it's these little white ones, and you're going to place it into the apparatus like that. And now we can put it into our map light. Repeat this process for the second one right here. Just again, take it out, pull it out, and then put your LED right in. And now we're going to put these back into our map light. So same sort of process right here. We're going to take our screw itself and we're going to place it up in, and we're going to turn it to the right to lock it in. So now we can turn that on and see that our map light is now working, and we have a nice LED versus that ugly amber. Repeat the same process with the other side. Again, just put it in, turn it to lock it in. And this doesn't work. This is actually something you might run into. If you put it in and it doesn't work, what you need to do is undo it and turn it 180 and then put it back in, and now it works. So right here with this, there are tabs. There are 2 tabs right there. You can have it backwards on accident, and then you just need to flip it 180 and put it back in. So there we go. We have LEDs in the interior map lights now. So now we are going to put this back up into our assembly. So I like to kind of put it up in the back side first. And again, doing this one-handed, so it's a little bit difficult, but basically you just put it up in and apply pressure, and you should have it up in nice and firm. So now we have our map lights. We can turn it to door, and we are good to go. We have LEDs in our map lights. Next lights we're going to replace are right here under the visor, these ugly things right here. So to do this, we're going to need a pry tool, and we're going to need to go underneath of this corner right here on either side to open these up. And it will be the exact same process for these ones over here because they're the exact same setup as well. You're going to need a pry tool, and you're going to go underneath of this corner right here, which again is really hard to do one-handed. So just like that, if you kind of can see, you got to get underneath of this corner right here. Again, it's really hard to show one-handed here. I have now MacGyver to set up now that you can see. But you take it, you put your pry tool right underneath this corner down here, and it might take a little second to get it hold of it, but you just pop it out like so. And as you guys can see, these are pretty simple. They just kind of slide up in and then pop in, pop out. Now, what you're going to do is take your pry tool and pry out these incandescent bulbs right here. Again, this is kind of hard to do one-handed because you would like to have two hands to be able to pull them out. Be careful, they can be hot because these are incandescent. So we just put our pry tool behind it, pry it off the top, pull these out. Again, they can be hot. Now we're going to be replacing it with these long LEDs that come in our kit, and they face one way, so there's no LEDs on the back side, so we want to make sure we put them in straight. Again, you might be able to adjust this on the way, but you kind of just put them in and pop them in very simply. Again, if they don't turn on, what is happening is this is backwards, so we need to take it back out and flip them. So I accidentally put it in backwards apparently, so I'm going to take my pry tool, take this out, flip it 180, and there we go. So here is our other LED. We're going to take it, we're going to put it up in here. Hopefully this is the right way. It is not the right way, so I'm going to flip it, and I'm going to pop it in. You can use your hands with the LEDs because these don't get hot, and you can make sure they're facing the correct way. And now we need to put our shields back on. So our shields just pop on the top, pop in. Very, very simple to do these LEDs, and you're good to go. Like I said, these are the hardest ones to get to because you have to pull that whole thing down. These are very simple to do, and we are done with this side. I'm going to go ahead and do the other side real quick, and then we'll move on to the back. So I quickly did the driver's side. We're good to go there. So we have all the LEDs up front done. Now we need to move on to the rear. There are two tabs right here. You can kind of make them out. There's a tab here and a tab here, and these are kind of our pry tabs to be able to open this up. So again, trying to do this one-handed is very, very tricky, but I should be able to get it just like that and just like that, and it pops out in your face. That right there is the little cover piece, and that right there is the incandescent that we need to replace. Now this one is a little bit different than the front ones. There's a lever on this side and a slot on this side, so what we need to do is push in on this lever, and that lets our light fall out. Now I went ahead and turned on the interior lights, that way we can make sure we are putting this in the correct way, because again with LEDs it goes in only one way. So I can test this way real quick. This is not the right way, so we need to go this way, and there we have our LEDs. So we're going to slide it into that hole first on this side, and then we're going to slide it up this rail on this side. So I'm going to put it into that slot right there, slide it up into there, and there we go. So now we're going to take our cover and we're going to slide it into the back first. This is kind of where the hooks go in. So you're going to hook it into there and then pop it up in. And there we go. We have all of our interior lights done now. All right, so these next two, the license plate lights, these two are honestly probably two of the hardest lights to get to, and your hands need to be a little bit on the small side. I would say I got medium-sized hands, but it is a very tight area to get to be able to take these out and to put the new ones in. Now, you can try and take out the light itself from the outside. I personally struggle to get these out, but there is a little pry tool you can get in on the left side here, but there's 4 clips holding this in. There's a clip on the bottom, top, left, and right. And for me, I've tried. It's really hard to get it to pop loose from the outside, and you end up messing up a lot of the plastic surround, in my opinion, trying to do that. So the alternative to that is to go on the back side and just take the bulb out, put the new bulb in, and put it back in. And that's how we're going to do it here, and I will show you guys that as we go underneath the truck. Alright, so underneath of the bumper, what we're looking for is that right there. That gray plug right there is our license plate light on this side, and there's another one on the other side as well. So what you want to do is you want to reach up in here with your right hand, because your right hand is going to be the easiest one to turn this. And you're going to want to basically reach your hand around it and turn it to the left. And then you can pull it out. So when you pull it out, you're going to see the bulb. It's going to look very similar. We're going to take the bulb out, and we're going to put our LED back in. Now, before I bother with actually putting that back in, I'm going to go turn on the lights for this to make sure that I have it oriented the right way, because as we know with the other LEDs only go in one way, so this could be right or this could be wrong. So I'm going to go turn the lights on now, and we will see. Now on the other side, this is the passenger side, you're going to want to take your left hand up in here first, because you're going to want to twist it to the right to be able to take it out. I stand corrected. You're going to want to twist it to the left again to pull it out. So use your right hand to pull it up in there. And be careful, the incandescent bulbs are hot, and I just burnt the shit out of my hand. Ow. Alright, now that that is taken out, we can put our LED back in. Again, we need to make sure we got it facing the right way, and we are good to go. Now we can put it back in up there, and now we want to use our left hand to be able to rotate it to the right. And there we go. I can tell you right now that that side is a lot harder, and as you guys can see, that's how tight of a space it is. My hands are kind of imprinted with the plastic bits and stuff up there. It's kind of, it's a bitch. It's a bitch to say the least. That's in, that's good to go, and those are now our license plate lights. And there they are, looking all good, looking all clean and ready to go. LED, baby. So now we move on to the final bit, which is our fog lights and our headlights. And to do that, we need to pop our hood. The hood on the Tacomas is very simple. There's a lever right here that you slide, and then you lift it. Kind of hard to do one-handed. There you go. The good part, at least on this truck, with replacing the headlights and the fog lights, is you don't need to remove any of the bumpers or stuff like that. To take the assembly out, yeah, you gotta tear apart the whole front end, but to take the bulbs out, it's pretty simple. Our headlight bulb can simply be found right here, right back here. This is our headlight bulb on the driver's side. On the passenger side, it's tucked up right here in the corner. And then our fog light is right down there. You can access that either from the top or the bottom. I prefer to go from the top. And the other fog light is right down there on the driver's side. Pretty simple to get to. And like I mentioned with the diode-dynamic LEDs, these are plug and play. So all we have to do is remove our lights and put these in. So let's start by removing both the headlights, or we'll do one side at a time so that way you can see the difference between the LEDs and the incandescent. So I'm going to remove this incandescent very simply. So right there it is. I'm just going to turn it, and I'm going to pull it back out like so. There's some other wires in the way here. I'm going to kind of pull those out of the way. And there we go. Now I can disconnect this bulb real quick. There's just a clip on the back. Push in on the clip. Pull the bulb out. For anyone that is wondering, all the bulbs are H11s. Both the fog lights and the low beams in the Tacomas are all H11 bulbs. So that is the first one out. And now we're going to take our diode dynamic LED and put it in. So again here, we're going to just take our LED, we're going to slide it in, and we're going to line it up and rotate it into position. And there you go. That's all it is to install it. And now we're going to take our excess here. On the last one, I kind of wrapped it up around here, so it has a little slack hold, and then we're going to plug it in. So we're going to take our plug right here, line both of those up, plug it in, and we should be all set and ready to go. And there we go. We have an LED headlight versus the incandescent ugly. Now let's do the fog light. Was he recording? Alright, so I cut the camera real quick for two things. One, I pulled out the fog light and found out that it's actually a H16. But somehow I was able to get the H10 lights, but somehow I was able to get the H11s to fit in there, and they're in and working right now down there. But two, there was actually a little plastic like lever piece beside where you needed to turn the light to take it out, which was really confusing to me. So I just took a pair of snips real quick and snipped off that piece of plastic, and I was able to take out the bulb and put the H10 in. So now this is going to be a little comparison of what your LEDs will look like. These are the LEDs and these are the incandescents. So instead of going ahead and taking out the incandescents on the passenger side, I'm gonna wait until later on tonight, so that way you guys get a little head-to-head of what LEDs versus incandescents look like on the 2020 Tacomas. And I will catch back up with you guys later on this evening. But that is the install process, and obviously it's the same process for the other side. Again, plug and play, super simple. I hope you guys, this was helpful so far, but I'll catch up with you guys later on this evening for a head-to-head comparison. All right, well, it is officially nighttime, which means we can show off the difference between the LED headlights and the incandescent headlights. And kind of just off the rip, the left side's LED, the right side's incandescent. I'll turn the fog lights off real quick. Let's go out, let's look at it from the outside, and then we'll drive it and see what they look like. So that is the difference in the low beams. And then this down here will be the difference in the fog lights. So those are the LEDs. That's obviously in frame. And that's the incandescent. Can't really tell much of a difference on camera, but at least that looks a lot cleaner because the LED matches the daylight runner on this side versus the LED runner and the incandescent on this side. Different whites. So let's pull the truck out now and let's shine the lights on the garage. We'll basically turn it around so that way you can see the difference when we're facing the garage on brightness level. So very interesting, as you guys can kind of see on camera right here. This is just the low beams. I would say that the LEDs on the left there are a little bit brighter, but honestly it looks about the same. And so if I put the fog lights on now, yeah, with the fog lights it looks a little bit brighter on the LED side, but for the most part it looks pretty equal. I would say the LEDs are a little bit brighter, but let's go for the real test, which is taking this for a drive. Now as we travel down this little back road here, I can tell you straight up that that LED on the left hand side is definitely overpowering the right hand side. So let me turn off the fog lights right now for just a little bit of a better comparison. Yeah, 100% the LED on the left side is way brighter than that incandescent on the right hand side. You can just tell clearly by the coverage pattern of that beam on the left hand side. It is so much brighter. Let's just shut off the main lights. Let's make sure no one's around this bend real quick. So this is just the fog lights, and yeah, it's about equal. If we turn on the main lights again, honestly it's pretty close. It's pretty close. The LED has just a little bit of an edge when it comes to output, just looking on the camera and looking in person. The LED has a little bit of an edge, but I want to say it's mostly in the color tone. The incandescent bulb is more of that amber color and normal light, and the LED is like a pure white. So it's got a lot more punch with the pure white than with the incandescent. So the incandescent's on the right there, and the LEDs on the left. As you guys can tell, the LED on the left just, it looks brighter because it's mostly that pure white versus the incandescent. But honestly, output wise, they're pretty equal. And lastly here, before I actually put the truck in the garage, we need to showcase the new LEDs on the inside. So we got this map light here, really bright. We have this map light over here. Really nice, cool whites, and we can turn them all on just by this. And that has all of the LEDs on right there. And then obviously when we flip this down, here, I'll shut these off so you can really see. That right there is bright. Like this, and badang. Like if you can't see your face with those LEDs in your face, you got a problem. That's a lot brighter than those incandescents, and it produces a lot more natural light at night so that you look good, right? Yes, LEDs across the board look a lot better, in my opinion, than those incandescent bulbs. Also, lastly, we can't forget the license plate light right there and right there. Really bright, easily lights up the whole entire license plate, no problem. And that's it for this video, covering basically how to replace all of the incandescent bulbs with LED bulbs, so you get this nice cool white versus this ugly amber color over here, both on the exterior, interior, and on the back tailgate lights. So if you like this video, be sure to give it a big thumbs up. Leave down in the comment section down below what you guys thought, what you guys think of the LEDs. Also, I'll link everything in the description down below and the first comment to where you can get it yourselves, especially the Diode Dynamics LEDs. These things are sick, love them. Had them for 2 years now, and they're still running super bright, as you can see behind me. But that's all. Don't forget to subscribe so you can see all the awesome new videos that are coming to the channel. And like always, guys, Taco Rick out. Peace.